Hello and welcome to the web series We Suck, a show in which we explore the reasons why we as human beings suck and hopefully find ways that we can suck a little bit less, things that we can do to make the world a little bit better. Today's episode is called Prince Charming, or for us men, Princess Charming, more along the lines of a Disney princess. Now I plan to cover both men and women, however in this particular case, covering the development of relationship desires for women will pretty much cover both sides and is very prominent in our society today. So, every single person in the world has their physical description, emotional description, mental description of a person that they find to be the most desirable, the most attractive, or their Prince Charming or Princess Charming, as it were. With today's society, the openness of relationship types and the things that we're looking for in a relationship has become so broad that anybody could basically be looking for anything. However, we're going to take a step back and look at the development of how things were as we were younger, as children, and the reasons why we look for the things that we look for today. Now, I call it Prince Charming because, well, in the movies, the Disney movies with all of the princesses, they are looking for a Disney prince, or Prince Charming in the case of Cinderella. So, as a child, we start watching these movies, and we see this representation of a good-looking, popular, rich, famous individual who is supposedly the central desire of each of these Disney princesses. There's Aladdin, Prince Charming, and many others, like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, that each represent a different quality that a person is looking for. Aladdin represents the bad boy, Prince Charming represents the popular rich guy, and the Beast represents the beefy, strong, ripped dude that everybody's looking for in a good-looking or aesthetic individual. Of course, he's also really hairy and a monster, but that's really beside the point, because they eventually go into the story of how she tames him and makes him into a better person. But that's beside the point. So as a child, we develop a diary. I mean, each young girl has a diary. Each of them have a book, or even some that don't have it, they have some mental diary that they start writing down these concepts or remembering these concepts of what they desire in a partner. So as a young girl, they look at the Disney princes and think that those princes are the ones that they're looking for as adults. So they start thinking blue eyes, long hair, or short hair, or strong, muscular individuals, knights, or popular princes, strong warriors. Things of this nature are what they're looking for in a partner. And so as they develop into young girls, as middle schoolers or young teens, they have this concept of the men that they're looking for. A lot of times they have to look for it from the older perspective. The little boys that are running around just don't fit those standards yet. And it's not their fault. They haven't really developed yet either. The same thing about little girls. They haven't developed either, so only other little people are going to be looking for them. So as you hit middle school, you start developing this problem called peer pressure, where you and your friends sit around and you start talking about all the boys that you're interested in, or in the particular case of men, all the girls you're interested in, or whatever it is you desire. So your friends start telling you what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. You look for the guys that are popular, the ones who are rich, the ones who have nice cars, and the ones who are really good looking. So now, instead of desiring the things that you desire, you now have changed your Prince Charming view to be the same kind of guy that you had in mind before, but also you curved it a little bit, you tailored it a little bit to fit what society thinks is acceptable. And by society, I mean all of your friends, because, well, you haven't really seen what's out there yet. Now, when you see movies and when you read books or see famous actors running around, you start deciding that these guys are the ones who fit your standard description. So let's, for example, the movie Twilight. There are two lead characters on there, the werewolf and the vampire. I don't know what their names are, but each of them has certain qualities and attributes that young women today find engaging, they find attractive. And so they are going to start deciding that those are the things that they're looking for. So all of your friends sit around talking about how cute this boy is, or how cute that boy is, or which famous actor you want to be with, or what they want to be with. And if you pick someone who's a little out of the ordinary, you're not really considered popular or part of the in crowd. I mean, this is a bad example, but if somebody says Weird Al Yankovic is attractive as a middle school girl, Everyone's going to look at her and be like, what is wrong with you? He's not attractive. He's old. He's got weird hair. And he sings about stupid stuff. I think he's a very talented performer. And I think he's a great guy. He even looks like my aunt. So I think he's wonderful. However, I'm not interested in dating him in any way. But middle school girls, neither are they. They are looking at people like Leonardo DiCaprio or Justin Bieber, Brad Pitt, things like that. Popular sex symbols that are considered good. Now, your mother doesn't really help that instance. For example, she says someone like Antonio Banderas is good looking. Well, maybe as a child you assumed that your mother knew everything, so you start thinking Antonio Banderas is now a popular, rich person who is good looking, and that's what your standard is based on. But now you're incorporating what your middle school friends think is also good looking, and that helps you custom tailor what your Prince Charming is going to look at. As you get older and you go into high school, the same problem applies. The popular jock, the good-looking football player, the head quarterback, the popular guys, the rich guys, the strong guys, the ones who are going to get all the attention. And that's because you spent all of middle school thinking that what's popular is what's good, instead of thinking of what you like is what's good. And the same problem applies for young men. They go through the same issue just in a different light. So now you're in high school with all of your friends looking at all the cute boys running around school. All of them are either ripped, rich, or popular. Maybe they know somebody famous. And there's a whole slew of other boys throughout the entire school who aren't even getting your attention. And in fact, they all run around thinking that women believe they don't exist. The nerds, the geeks, and what are considered the losers are actually usually good people. I'm not to say that jocks and popular kids and rich kids are not good people, because in fact some of them actually are. And I've met quite a few in my life. However, usually at a younger age they're more arrogant because they are popular and they think they can get whatever they want. And there's a whole bunch of nerd and geek kids who are not considered popular, who are not good enough, who are not good looking, who aren't rich, and they're not getting any attention. So these good guys, these other guys, they're not all good either, but they go through middle school and high school without good relationship experience, without being able to be with people they want to be with, and so they get into college. Women eventually start to open up their expectations and date more, so they're looking for better quality people. Men between 18 and 25 are at their physical peak. That's designed from a natural perspective so that we can be the most appealing to women. It's our best and most prominent breeding time. However, men can still breed into their late ages. They become more sophisticated as they get older. You know, back in the day, Sean Connery used to be considered a sex symbol, and even as he got older, he just became more popular. Women of multiple ages, in the older group, the middle age group, and the younger group, still thought he was attractive. Same thing with Antonio Banderas. He's getting up in age, and still people think he's attractive as well. And this is good. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody should desire whatever they desire. But now these women are in college, and they're still focusing on the Prince Charming concept they had all of their entire life, but they're actually starting to add more important things to it, like what kind of quality life can they provide for you, whether they're good and decent people, whether they're not liars or cheaters. And that's important. These are the things that we should have been looking at a long time ago, but unfortunately it doesn't take till they get a little bit older. Usually women between 25 and 35 start lowering their standards and opening up to more possibilities of things that could make them happy. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's their time, that's their time. The reason for it is because they're hitting their biological clock and they want to start having kids or relationships, families, long-term solid relationships instead of flings. They change their priorities and their goals. Which of course, if they'd done that a long time ago, it's possible they could have been happier for a longer time in their life. Now, going back to the situation with men, they do the same thing. As young boys, we're told that the hottest women are the ones that are the most well endowed, the ones who have the hottest, most shapely bodies, and now in this particular age, women with big bouncy booties are really what's popular. Everybody wants that ghetto booty. Everybody has different tastes. They want different things. But men are told when they're young that they need to find the best looking woman that they can to be their partner, which is usually the most popular, the best looking. And they don't even have to be rich, because for the most part, tradition suggests that men are the breadwinners and the providers. This is a new era. Women are now taking care of themselves, and they can be breadwinners too. That doesn't mean our fathers aren't telling us that chick on TV, she is beautiful, she's hot. You know, that's the kind of girl that you're going to want to be with. Your mother was like that when she was younger. And so we start developing these ideas that Disney princesses, the way they always seem to look really good, are the ideal mates for us. So we start pursuing women who are the top shelf quality, and we ignore all the other ones. Again, just like the geeks and the nerds that I was talking about earlier with the women, these other quality women who are good people, who can provide good relationships, are being overlooked entirely because they're just not quite good enough looking for what society suggests they should be. We're not Photoshop quality, so we're just not good enough. So now these boys are going into middle school, and they're only looking at the cheerleaders and the popular girls. And there's this large, vast, untapped resource of young, bright, intelligent, and nice women. They're just being ignored. All the way up into high school, when you pretty much know whether you're popular or whether you're unpopular and whether you're going to get boys to like you or not. And usually what ends up happening is young girls have to start changing who they are, their appearances, the way that they act, just to get the attention of those guys that are probably not going to treat them well anyway because they think they're entitled to all the best looking women. So we now have young men who are doing their level best to look as good as they possibly can and be as big of a jerk as they can, because apparently that's what women are into. I never really understood that concept where the bigger jerk gets the most women and the nicer guys get completely ignored. But as they get older, the bigger jerks end up being alone, and the nice guys either find good girls or they end up being alone because they never develop the self-confidence necessary to find a good partner. Men go into college and they still continue to play around because, again, they're in their physical peak. They have not decided that they want to settle down yet. Usually men older than 25 have a tendency to start thinking of long-term, like family, which is good because women 25 to 35 are now thinking the same thing. So it works. But it would work better if we didn't have these unreasonable standards throughout our entire lives. We didn't think we needed Prince Charming from the beginning. We didn't think we needed the biggest and hottest girls to be our partners when we were in middle school and high school. If women lowered their standards a little bit and started opening their minds to nice guys instead of popular guys, rich guys, and good-looking guys, then they might find they would have more quality relationships and longer-lasting relationships. Again, I'm not saying that all rich guys, popular guys, and good-looking guys are bad, because some of them are really great guys. I have quite a few friends that are really quality gentlemen. And that's another thing. Us guys, there are very few gentlemen left in this world today. Holding a door open for somebody is not considered a sign of weakness. It's actually responded to quite well. Young women don't. They usually don't respond to it well. I've been in quite a few relationships and ended badly because they thought I had some sort of ulterior motive because I was so nice. They said I was too nice. Why? Because I held doors open for them. I offered to help them in situations that they really could have done it themselves, but I was just trying to be nice. Paying for meals. These things are just not expected anymore. Being polite, that's just unheard of. You just have to tell somebody that they're hot and that you want to do them, and that's apparently considered okay. But telling them that they're beautiful and that you think that they would be wonderful company and you want to spend some time with them makes you just seem weird. I don't really understand how that works. So hopefully, from this video, we've learned that our unreasonable standards, our unreasonable societal standards, has pushed us back in the relationship area, the relationship arena, so far that good quality relationships aren't happening until late in life. And most relationships that do exist have a lot of problems. Divorce is at its highest point that it's ever been, simply because people have these unreasonable desires and expectations in relationships. So many people expect their partners just to be good looking, just to be rich, or just to be famous. And that's not good enough for a relationship. They have to have a lot in common with you. They have to be good people. They have to treat you well. They have to treat you with respect like you deserve. Honesty, open communication, these are more vital than how much money the relationship can provide, or how good looking aesthetically your partner is, or whether he's a famous movie star or an actor, or a president or CEO of a company. It doesn't really matter about what they do or what they could do. It's about who they are and what they can provide for each other. A good woman with a good man will last a lifetime than a popular man and a good-looking woman. They usually end up getting divorced. Hopefully we can learn from these experiences and maybe even teach our kids to look for something different. When I was a kid, everyone was told that nerds were nerds and that you should, treat them badly, beat them up, give them wedgies, steal their lunch money. So all the popular jock kids were just bullies. And now that I'm a little bit older, I've noticed that women are starting to tell them, you should go date those nerds because they're eventually going to be CEOs of companies. This is good progress. I think this is a good thing. but we're still suffering from that problem where everyone is looking for the best aesthetically, the best financially, and the popular ones. That's not important. What is important is finding good quality people who treat you well and with respect. We should be showing this attribute to our young children and helping them find good quality relationships, good partners who will treat them well. If we can do some of these things, our world will suck a little bit less. It'll definitely be better for all of us. And this standard of a woman is a 10, so you can't date her because you're a 7, or a 5, or a 3, is just stupid. Everybody is allowed to date whoever they want. Everybody is good enough for everyone else. We need to remember that. No one is too good for us. Who cares if they're opposites? Maybe your partner's smarter than you. Maybe they're more successful than you. Maybe they got more stuff than you. It doesn't matter. We're here to help each other. One guy has the ability to build something while another guy has the ability to lead. Another guy has the ability to protect. Another guy has the ability to create. Someone teaches. Each of these are vital aspects of a community. Everybody helps each other, and it's the same thing with a relationship. You need to find someone who complements you and helps you in your relationship, provides the things that you don't provide for yourself, or complements or enhances what you do have. These are the things that should be looked for, not whether they're good looking or rich, popular. Although that's a good perk benefit on the side. Fringe benefits are always good. Hopefully we do find someone that's attractive and that is good for us as well. So hopefully this will help you find better relationships. Hopefully this will allow you to relax a little bit and maybe date a few people that are not exactly considered in your arena. Enjoy life. Date who you want. Ask anyone out. Don't be afraid just because somebody says they're too good for you. No one's too good for you, and you're never too good for anyone else. Hopefully this will make us suck a little bit less. And thanks for watching. See you next time.